Are you struggling to close deals? Cold outreach is wasting the time of both the buyer and seller at every stage, especially when sellers are using shallow and outdated data. Your organization can overcome these challenges with technology that translates comprehensive, high-quality buyer data into real-time insights. These deeper insights empower sales reps and teams to adopt the habits of top performers, which leads to better outcomes, like more pipeline, higher win rates, and larger deals. We call this deep sales. And we've built the first deep sales platform with the next generation of LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Right now, you can try LinkedIn Sales Navigator and get a 60-day free trial at linkedin.com/trial. That's linkedin.com/trial for a 60-day free trial. Let LinkedIn Sales Navigator help you sell like a superstar today. Just go to linkedin.com/trial and get started.
Hey guys, and welcome to Criminality Podcast, the podcast where we know loving reality TV isn't a crime, and thank goodness it isn't, because it's like our favorite thing. One of our favorite things. Top 10 list. Top 3?
Oh, big time. Top 3.
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. Rebekah, how are you?
I'm good. I am so happy that we're recording. It's just feels like it's been longer than a minute, and glad we're back.
Me too. We both look very confused. I'm like, what's happened?
I know. I'm sure people are listening and they could fill in the blanks better than we could. But Thanksgiving happened and you were out of town and I moved. And we did kind of skip a week or played a replay because of that. So it's the first week back in several weeks and I feel it. And I'm happy to be here.
I would agree with you. You moved. That was a huge life update because you were ready for that. For months, you've been ready for this. It's everything you wanted it to be, Rebekah.
And more. And I know you won't like me doing this, but the housewarming gift you sent was perfection. I received in the mail an envelope, and inside was a Christmas ornament with a literal set of teeth inside a star for the tree, and it says "Homeless, Not Toothless." And it's layered. It's so perfect in so many ways because we were homeless. I don't like to use that word, but we were between homes for a good 8 weeks. We were in Airbnbs and my parents' house. I was without my own home. And so it just really hit me.
That is truly the worst name for a charity I have ever heard of. So, if they're going to sell the merch on Etsy, I had to get it, but I'm just glad that it doesn't apply to you now.
Me too. And thank
You're
you.
with home.
I am with home. I have all teeth intact. I am overdue for a dentist appointment, but that's neither here nor there. But I will never forget that homeless time because now every year when I decorate my tree, I'll think of it. So thank you so much. That was very fun. How are you?
Good.
You were out of town. Looks like you had a beautiful trip.
We did. We had a wonderful time. We went up to North Georgia. It was great, relaxing. Didn't do a whole lot. My kids weren't motivated to do a lot, and that's okay. Mm-hmm. And it was just kind of take it as it is. And if you want to go on a hike with me, that's great. If you want to hike for 0.2 miles and turn around with my husband and you guys go back and sit in the van and I can walk 3 miles, great.
That also works.
Everybody just live your life. Yeah, everybody have the vacation of your dreams. And it was really nice. It was relaxing and beautiful, and it was really fun.
That sounds like a very healthy approach. I think as kids get older, like the more you can not just adjust, but maybe let go entirely of expectations, usually the better the trips go.
It's totally true, because if I was just like, no, we're going to finish this, it would have been miserable. I would have been miserable. Yeah. Exactly. If everybody wants to just sit on their phones for 30 minutes in the van, fine. Yeah. I don't care. I got to listen to podcasts and pretend I lived here full time and just was so good with the weather. I love the weather. It was so cold. It's in the 80s right now.
I know. You're so funny. You're like, I could really get into this beanie weather. You were like so charmed and like delighted.
My hair was so cute.
Yeah, you did look very cute in the picture you sent. But I was like, girl, there is a point in the winter here, up here where I live, where like the last thing you want to do is go outside and put your hat on and your scarf and your gloves and your coat. But I felt that excitement for you.
Yeah, we learned to wear chapstick the whole time. Like day one, I'm like, put your chapstick on, put your chapstick on. I was so obnoxious. I had 5 packs of it because I was like, we're going to lose some. And just like all the time, my poor son would be like, no, I don't. I'm like, chapstick. We're all doing chapstick because I don't want to hear people complaining about their lips. And it worked out great. And the whole time, then that made the conversation me saying, isn't it great? Nobody's lips are chapped. Isn't it great?
Has anyone want to be reminded?
I celebrate the wins.
Yeah, that I prevented chapped lips for our whole family. Again.
I know. No awards were given to me, but I felt like I earned one.
Good job. Good job. That would be, I guess, the equivalent of our family going to Florida and me like spraying them with sunblock. I don't know.
Absolutely. Yeah. And just being like, look, nobody got burnt. Can you believe nobody got burnt? Because I put sunscreen on everybody. Yeah. Wow, nobody got burnt. Be happy.
Let's hope we can apply this for the big holidays coming up, this live and let live mentality. I know I won't. I'm sure I'll have a fit.
But I liked your confidence going into the fact that you will not be able to.
It's just a given. I don't know if I've ever said this on the podcast before, but I know I've texted it to you. My favorite quote from Parenthood, the TV show, is the matriarch of the show, Camille Braverman. And she says, sometimes being the perfect mother is not worth the blood on the floor. And
it's so
I live by it, or I try to. And inevitably there is blood and there are tears and there are mine. But the best intentions, right? And even just like going in with that mentality sometimes even is enough.
The way my son has like done that to me his whole life, like there are going to be pictures from his 6th and 7th birthday where there's 6 candles on the cake because he didn't want to turn 7. So one year there's a 6 and the next year there's a 6. And, one day I'm going to be confused by that, but it was like, why? It doesn't matter.
Right.
His birthday cake, my sister was laughing so hard because she's like, why is this cut up into so many different, like, whatever? I'm like, well, I just let everybody pick which piece they wanted and their kids. So it's just like,
free for all. Yeah.
Totally. Like whatever reason with him, I'm like, I can't have a standard. And so the standard is so low, basically anything goes. And, we'll see in adulthood how well that works for me.
It's going to work great. And it doesn't change anything historically. Like he still turned 7 and he will keep aging. Yeah. It's just like these moments, it's just not worth it.
Not at all. That would have been blood on the floor, blood on the everywhere.
On the cake. It would have been ruined. It would have ruined the party. But I'm going to steal that for my next birthday. I'm just going to do the same amount as like 3 years ago.
Absolutely. I mean, nobody's going to stop you. When you look at pictures, you'll be like, wow.
Oh, it was my 40th again. Cool.
Again.
Okay. Well, today we have something fun to do. We're going to update, right?
Yay.
Yeah.
Let's do an update. We did one for the first 30 episodes.
Yep.
And no kidding, every time we release an episode, would you say there's like a 24-hour period where that person immediately comes back up in the news and you think like, well, I've got to hold on to this for next time. And it'll be like crazy updates. One of mine is like huge news right now.
Me too.
But there was nothing really going on at the time.
No, it happened to me too. Huge update. I can't wait to hear yours and to share mine. So yeah, there's like this magic resurfacing of the people we cover within a day or two, always after episodes. I love it. It's intoxicating, the power. Just kidding.
I wasn't expecting that, but now that you say it, I have been feeling a lot more powerful lately, and maybe this is where I'm getting my powers from.
Yes.
Thank you.
What people can't see is we're dressed like Harry Potter right now.
We do come with our own wands.
Yes.
So do you want to kick it? Or actually, I'll kick it off, right? Because the first episode after our update episode was Apollo Nita.
That's right. Yeah, that's you.
Okay. So this is back from April 22nd. The episode was called Apollo Nita's in a Pickle. And if you forget, the pickle refers to the pickles that Phaedra was eating in there. Oh, Rebekah, please don't. I don't need a visual. I don't need to relive this. But yours is a lot more classy than what we were put through on Real Housewives of Atlanta during the maternity photo shoot, where Phaedra was really was never concerned about people like drawing things near her mouth. I will not take pictures eating because I'm afraid of what could possibly be drawn near me.
Yeah.
So that's like a big thing for me. So anyway, Apollo, if you remember, he went to prison for I think 8 years after he and Phaedra were married. They got divorced. He had all kinds of schemes.
Yep.
Would we say schemes?
It's a good word. Yep.
Yeah. And he also ended up being on Real Housewives of Atlanta this latest season, talking to Sheree. Did you watch? Oh, you haven't watched Atlanta, right?
No.
So Sheree was with Tyrone for several years, and he was in prison. He gets out, and he's like not really having anything to do with Sheree. And of course, I watch a lot of Love After Lockup.
Yep.
I've seen this. Tale as old as time. It happens. They like have their boo while they're in prison, and then they get out and they're like, oh, actually.
Yeah. Oh, actually, I'm a free man.
Of women out here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he like didn't want to be filmed. He said he didn't want to be filmed. Then he said it was like a parole violation. This is Sheree's boyfriend. And eventually she sits down with Apollo and says, hey, tell me what it was like coming out of prison.
Okay. Like to try to understand what.
Yeah. Like what's he going through?
Yeah.
And so he kind of talked about that and how it was hard in like the weirdest like shirt and scarf combination. Like there was just a lot of skin still showing where the scarf was. It just didn't feel like it was measured very well.
The scarf.
Yeah. Sheree did end up asking him to model in her She by Sheree finale party, whatever. So there was that. But honestly, besides that, there haven't been any updates, which is a good thing for Apollo. I know he and it's the Little Mermaid Sebastian. What's his name? He was married to Cynthia Bailey. Not Peter Griffin.
Thomas.
Peter. Everybody knows Peter Thomas. Peter Thomas. Yeah. He's on Real Housewives of Potomac.
Yes, he sure is.
So they went into business together, but nothing has been unearthed either illegally or otherwise. So it seems like he's staying out of trouble.
Yeah.
So that's my update.
In
Not a
that
lot.
scenario, I would say no news is probably good news.
Great news,
Yeah.
even.
Okay. Well, that's good. Well, we can roll into episode 33 then, which was about Yolanda Hadid. And it was called Yolanda, No Good Hadid Goes Unpunished.
Nice.
And in that episode, we talked also not just about Yolanda, but Muhammad's illegal real estate property that was going to get demolished.
Oh, yeah.
And her marriage to David Foster. But
which was demolished.
Which was also demolished. There's a theme. And yeah, it carries right over to her talking to her friends on Beverly Hills about her Lyme disease. Friendships were demolished over that. So not a lot of updates there either, except that Lisa Rinna, who really has just seemed to have gone off the rails entirely.
Yes.
Someone asked her, she just posted this like in the last couple of weeks. And she posted a picture on her Instagram story. It's a like photo of her, of course, with like text overlay over it. And it says, someone just asked me if I have any regrets from the last 8 years on the show. Only one. Yolanda. That was her answer.
Whoa.
And she said, I would change that. That was very wrong on all levels. That should never have happened. Everything else I own and would probably not change. And I thought, man, of all the things, this was pretty bad.
I know.
But I thought that was really, I don't know that I would have guessed that was like her top regret.
No.
Because they were all pretty awful to her about it. And I also feel like bad because I had skepticism about it. And even during my story, I think I did. Like it's unclear. Yeah. And it doesn't matter. But
there's something with it being her and all of her kids when it
isn't genetic.
Yeah. Like, well, we did learn that I think it can be carried from the mother to the baby, right? I feel like a listener
I remember
us. There was something.
Did write us, actually, yes. And you're right. Was it that though? Yeah, maybe it was, but that wouldn't actually
a couple.
apply because she didn't have it.
Exactly. She didn't have it prior. So that's where it was like, okay, but then what's the reason? Because it has become like the new exhaustion it's okay. Also, like if you go on TikTok, which I live there, it's everyone's on the spectrum. So it's kind of like this thing where that's like the new, not buzzword, but kind of like that's an easy.
Every woman has ADD now too.
Well,
but I feel like I
don't know
do.
if that's not true.
No, well, is it not true? Is it true, or is it a sign of our time, which is just that we are living like frenetic lives with too many tabs open in our brains in a way that we didn't 20 years ago before the internet, or more than that.
Yeah.
I don't know what year the internet came out, but do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it could be it could be true because of current environment. So
Totally.
So yeah, so the Munchausen syndrome, I guess, is Lisa's biggest regret, starting that rumor about Yolanda. Yolanda is still with that man. I think I talked about her dating someone. She moved to that Pennsylvania farm, and
the other one. I'm just kidding.
No, the guy she met in Pennsylvania, who's like a real estate contractor or something. They're still dating for 3 years. They mostly live in Pennsylvania and not Beverly Hills, which I would think is probably a really good, healthier way to live. If we want to talk about the kids, since, you know, they're Hadids and all.
Absolutely.
Gigi is dating Leonardo DiCaprio.
Still, I have a lot of thoughts on that. And none of them have been fully formed in my head. Well, is this a whole PR? Well, what do I say? Is this a PR thing? Everything's a PR thing. But it is kind of interesting that everyone's like, here's where there's like charts and stuff of where Leonardo DiCaprio dumps girls at 25 or whatever. Right. And now she's a little over 25. Yeah. So it's almost like I'm close, but I'm not there. So you guys can't say this anymore. And she's hot.
Yeah. No, I'm sure there was a lot of orchestration around it, but there was a big article that Yolanda approves, and I'm like, great. Like,
in what world would she not?
I know.
Come on.
And then as far as Bella is concerned, she has been quiet about the whole Balenciaga scandal
of it all,
and she deleted her posts, all of which, you know, any posts that promoted the fashion house are not on her grid anymore. So she hasn't spoken out, at least not as of a couple days ago. I know Kim Kardashian finally did, but she hasn't. So that whole Balenciaga thing was crazy.
Totally. I'm hoping we hear from more people sooner rather than later.
Me too. And I am not satisfied with Kim's response. And I have to be honest, this is not about her.
She pulled the as a mother, right? Like, as a mother.
She sure did. But then do you know what the internet pulled in return?
What?
Photos of her with North at a fashion show where North is wearing a GIMP mask.
Oh, I remember that picture. Do you not remember that?
I did.
Oh, no.
What?
I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Kanye because Kanye's always wearing a mask.
Well, Kanye is a grown adult man.
Sorry, my bad.
And North was like 8 or 9 and was brought to a Paris, or I don't remember which fashion show it was, wearing a full GIMP mask, which if you don't know is like an adult thing.
Yeah.
What? So like to talk about, you know, protecting children at all costs, to me, it diminished her entire argument, whatever that post said. And it also was like, she, you know, believes that they're sorry and she's going to wait and let them prove themselves. And basically you want the free clothes to keep coming and the money and the endorsements.
Absolutely.
Like gross.
Yeah.
And I'm a fan. I'm not a fan. I believe in some of what she does. Yeah. She's a tough one for me. Like she can do things that I'm like, you know what? I like her. And then she can do something else and be like, she is what's wrong with everything. And it's not a fair position for any human to be in, meaning her. It's not her responsibility, but this I can't co-sign.
Yeah, no, I get it.
And the other one, Onward, nothing. Crickets. Shocker. So that's
man. Didn't he date Dua Lipa? That's the only thing I feel like.
Yes, I think that's not super recent, but I think that was going on definitely when I was researching her. I remember that because Yolanda would like comment extensively on all her Instagram posts. She's very likes to be in the mix of the celeb world that her kids are in. So again, not surprised she approved of Leo DiCaprio. But yeah, that's it for Yolanda. But I think healthy, like there's nothing new about her health. Maybe the change of environment was, you know, a positive.
Probably. Okay, so the next one up is all Kail, the queen of Teen Mom. Yeah.
It was a fun one.
Truly, there's something about her all the time.
Right.
So the episode was really about her lawsuit with Brianna De Jesus, where Brianna said something and Kail took her to court, and the judge actually ruled in Brianna's favor, Melissa.
Sorry, it didn't help.
It's okay. Well, my eyes were just blank. You were probably like, I was like, frozen?
Surely she doesn't mean favor. Like she would notice that.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. I didn't forget that word. So ruled in her favor. She threw a huge party. That's kind of where we left it on. So there's not too terribly much to update. She has left Teen Mom too. She kind of said, I'm going to, but you never know. Like there can be contract stuff or whatever. But they're doing a new thing called Teen Mom. It's not Family Reunion. It's something where Teen Mom 1 and 2, like some of their big stars are on there together. I watched one episode just to kind of figure out what the heck was going on. And it's so weird. They make it very like all of them call each other. So it's like there's no fourth wall or the fourth wall, whatever. They'll like show pretend text on the screen of like, LOL, how's Addie doing? Blah, blah, blah. Like throughout the scenes, like this, almost like it's interact. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't care that they talk to each other. I don't believe they talk to each other. Yeah, I don't know. I think they're like, let's give you more control of your storyline, but you can send heart emojis. I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yes, but she's not on that, but she is still doing a podcast, including Coffee Convos, which is with who I assume is going to be an upcoming criminality topic soon, Lindsay Chrisley. And she is the daughter of the Chrisleys.
Sure.
Who are like in huge trouble, like prison time, multiple years. We definitely will have that in an upcoming episode. I don't know which one of us will be doing it, but it's coming because it's a wild story. I will say right off the bat, I don't know a ton about that family.
Me
don't
either.
understand how they ever got famous.
Same.
I don't understand any of it.
And I feel like that conviction, I knew that they had trouble. I knew there were issues, but it feels like that was just bam, like all of a sudden it's like prison time.
Yeah. Like it's big. There's a lot going on with it for sure.
So their kid is co-hosting with Kail?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that's their show Coffee Convos has been the two of them. And that's been going on for several years, actually. That was like the first one Kail started doing. And so there's only two other real updates with her. One is that people think she's definitely pregnant with her 5th child.
Whoa.
Yeah, I hope it's a boy. I just don't want her to have a girl. There's just something in me that's so petty that I'm like, I know this is what you're trying to do. Does she have all
boys?
No.
And does she want a girl?
All boys, 4 boys.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if she wants one. I think she won't even say that she wants one, where she's like,
right.
I don't care. I just want to have a bunch more kids. No,
right.
No, you don't.
Right.
No, you don't. Now you want to say now our family's complete or some BS like that.
Oh boy.
Anyway. Yeah. And the only other thing I saw was people are claiming that they know who her biological dad is. And you've seen Kail. Do you have anyone in the world that you would ever say, Kail, I know who your biological father is? This is obviously a joke, but people say Dog the Bounty Hunter could be her biological father.
Oh my goodness.
I would be so insulted if people said that about me. I don't think they look like it's
might have been
totally
like
a joke,
one
but it was one of those
bad hair day or something.
There's been several, but anyway,
oh man.
It was just kind of one of those funny, she was like, yeah, no, it's not, obviously, but it was just one of those fun internet things. And that was really the last thing I could find on her.
One of those fun internet things where people say your dad is like,
where people question your paternity.
Yeah,
and
the weirdest, most problematic figure on TV. No, he's not, but he's up there.
He was one of them.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, he's had some things. Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it's not that great. I've got some other stuff coming.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Rebekah. What's next?
We don't always have the magic touch. Next was episode 35, Ashton Kutcher, 2.5 lawsuits. And that's where we learned that before there was Punk'd, there was a show called Harassment, which just the name alone, like we talked about, could never happen.
No.
And just the lawsuits that Ashton was involved in. And I think our takeaway from that was that we kind of liked Ashton Kutcher more than we expected.
Like him more every day.
Like him more every day. And let me tell you, Melissa, I am here to give you the early Christmas gift. His updates are good.
Good.
Yeah. So Mila, his wife, Mila Kunis, as we know, is Ukrainian. We talked about that in the episode. They have raised over $37 million for Ukrainian refugees since the crisis started. $37 million. So that alone is a beautiful update. Then there was another one, which you actually shared with me because it was so moving. And it's a clip of Ashton doing his first sit-down interview with his twin brother who has cerebral palsy. And they're on a new show called The Checkup, which, have you heard of this?
Wait, is that like a spinoff of The Doctors?
It seems like it because it's called, hold on, I have a little screenshot here with the subtitle. The Checkup with Dr. David Agus, or Aegis, I'm not sure. Conversations on Health, Heartbreak, and Hope. He basically interviews A-list celebrities about heartbreak, hope, and health. So in the cover image, which we can post on Instagram in our update episode post, there's Amy Schumer, Ashton Kutcher, Oprah Winfrey, among others. So I think he talks to like really big people about these things. And so Ashton and his brother gave an interview, and apparently it's incredibly moving. And in addition to having cerebral palsy, his brother had a heart transplant and almost died. And so Ashton is incredibly emotional, and it seems like they're very close. And it was just another side of him that seems very sincere and caring and makes me like him more.
I know that clip was, I don't know. I was like, oh my gosh, I have to send this to Rebekah because it was, I don't like a lot of emotional stuff to come on my TikTok feed, and TikTok knows that about me. But I appreciate when there is one, I'm like, that one got me.
That one pushed through too because, you know, it was Ashton Kutcher. Like they got it right. TikTok got that one right.
Yeah.
And then the last thing was that he ran the New York City Marathon this year. And of course, he did it for a cause, and he raised more than $1 million for Thorn, which is a nonprofit tech company that he founded to help prevent the sexual exploitation of children. So what a beautiful antidote to the whole Balenciaga thing we just discussed.
Yeah.
Like he's out there running and raising money for, you know, to stop things like that. So I continue to love Ashton. That's all.
So also he and Kim Kardashian, speaking of those two being on separate sides of things, were both running, like did something for Peloton, and we're both running. Like I saw them come up on my thing, and she was like, I don't sweat. It's so weird. I can do whatever I need to, and I just don't sweat. And then I saw on TikTok, and it was like an esthetician, or I don't know, somebody who was like, yeah, because you've like had shots literally everywhere. You've been Botox.
That's what I was going to say.
Nothing can come out.
Right. I'm like, that doesn't seem like your body's natural state. I think that's probably all the injections of Botox, and no like, judgment on it. It's just like, that's what people get it for, is to stop sweating.
Ma'am, I will be going to a Botox consultation in the morning.
Please report back because
I can't wait.
I am of the age where I'm manipulating my candles like your son. So it means it's Botox time.
I love that though.
Yeah.
Those are great updates.
Yeah. So that was all I read about him. And I'm like, wow, this guy, I don't know. I would love to know if in real life he's as great as he seems, but whatever he's doing, I think he should continue.
Absolutely. So the next one is Who Wants to Marry a Maybe Multimillionaire?
Yeah.
With a record. And this is the story of Who Wants to Marry a Multimillionaire, Fox's one and done show with Darva Conger and Rick, not Solomon. That was like somebody that was off with Paris Hilton and married to Shannon Doherty. Rick Rockwell. My gosh.
I almost was like Sockowell. Yes.
Put this together. And you've got it. That's their celebrity couple name. And so thankfully, Rebekah, not an update in the world to be found on that.
Good. He should
Darva
stay
must
quiet.
just be working on her Palm Pilots, living her life. But there's no updates on either of them. And I think we as a society are better for it.
Agreed.
And as are they, because anything that would have gotten in the news, 15 years after, it's not going to
be good. It's like the Salahis, I feel like, Tarek and Kail, thank you. Like, we don't need to hear from them. I put them in a very similar category.
Yeah, for sure. So that's all I have there.
Okay,
which
good.
Is nothing.
No news is very much good news. So then we had episode 37, We Stan, a cheater brand, Roni, Summer House, and Real Housewives of New Jersey. So that was like a trifecta.
Mashup.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So there's a few updates there. So we talked about the potential logo stealing on Loverboy's part from that bar that was in New York City. Loverboy. And we talked about, of course, Sonia and Bethany's feud over Tipsy and Skinny Girl. And we talked about Margaret Joseph's and Vineyard Vines.
And now I've seen that a million times. So
of course,
that all the time. I've sent you pictures of stuff that I just randomly see. Yeah.
I know. It's so funny when you didn't know something and then you do, and then it's everywhere. That was exactly what happened. Loverboy is doing amazing. They partnered with Total Wine and More, which I guess is a really big nationwide alcohol retailer. They're now in 44 out of 50 states. They used to be super regional, like New York City and the Hamptons, and then the tri-state area, and then they expanded to like 12 states. Now they're in 44. So they're growing, and they have updated their logo, which I found interesting. But what I also find interesting is that they partnered with an agency because Amanda did their logo. And so they say it is a bolder, vertical, 3D-esque logo, still with its iconic typeface. So they didn't change that. So that capital L, but script Loverboy, they are, I guess, because they didn't have to.
That's them.
Yeah, that's theirs legally. But they added this like 3D kind of quality to it. Again, I'll put this on Instagram so people can see it. It does look cool. It's not like life-changing, but it's recognizable as theirs, a little bit updated. And it said it was designed to make the brand pop even louder on retail shelves. I don't know. That was the update there, is that they seem to be doing very well. And also I am watching Winter House, and I don't know if you are, but Amanda and Kail are very happy. And Amanda's talking about how getting married and getting dogs changed Kail into this loyal, doting, sweet husband. And I'm like, that's not a thing. Like,
no,
like your time is numbered, girl. Like he is who he is. I love that you're having a great time right now, but he did not just change because you got a dog and got married.
No. Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
So I just see right through him, and I don't think I don't know. I'm not convinced of their long-term success.
I think especially if they decide to bring a child into this, it would be the end, because I think they're both people who are very interested in their own selves.
Yeah, they both seem really high maintenance. And, having a child doesn't allow for two people to be that at one time. So they're going to have to trade off being
also,
high
that body, that banging body Amanda has. I can't imagine why she would want to put her body through that, because she truly has maybe the best figure on TV. I am concerned with how much I always pause it when I see her, because I just think she's gorgeous, in a way. No one, but not in the most traditional way.
No, she's not conventionally pretty, but it's also, in addition, her skin is also very even and flawless.
Yeah, I think it's a whole thing.
She always has this golden tan color that's not orange. She doesn't look like she sprays tans, but she's not pale in the winter. I'm like, what is this Mediterranean color you have year round?
I know.
I'm just
jealous, I think, but I'm positively jealous. I'm positive while being jealous. How about that? She's beautiful.
She is.
I'm jealous.
She is fun to look at. Yeah, no doubt. So that's them doing well. I think she'll be a lot pregnant too. I don't know. It just feels a little. Oof. Bethany. Oh boy. So as you know, I can't not watch her makeup TikTok. So I see them on Instagram. You live on TikTok. I live on Instagram. Right. So I am always 2 weeks behind you because I just see them reposted there. It's like, so I don't know what's trending. I know what's on Instagram, and she's doing these crazy drugstore versus high-end product tests. I'm sure everybody knows what I'm talking about. And I just find her so insane and smart and well-spoken and funny. And I like her, but she's crazy. She's just, the way she talks.
It's a lot.
It's so much. And when I see one, I'm like, just keep scrolling. And then I'm just like, well, let me just see, because that's a product I might want to know what the better one is. And then she's like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Are you listening? Are you she's just crazy. She's just crazy.
You will die if you do not get this.
Yeah. And she's like, I die for this. I die for this. Like this, you wouldn't think I did, but I do. And I'm just like, whoa. So anyway, her and TikTok, speaking of which, she is suing TikTok. I'm sure you heard all about this. Mm-hmm. She says that consumers and creators are being exploited with no recourse or power to defend themselves because I guess her image was used without her permission to sell a different product.
Sweater?
I don't even know what it was.
I swear that it was this sweater thing that she bought years ago, because I feel like I even heard her talking about this. Okay. That was a knockoff. In one of her videos, she did this one. There's this more expensive one, blah, blah, blah. But I love this. And that was used in a video to sell that as her endorsement. So it looked like she was
tricky
endorsing it. Yeah. Well, I mean, she's endorsing it. Well, technically, she's going on and saying.
If somebody if a high profile person went on Instagram Live right now and said they love criminality, could we not
go ahead, do
repost them? Yeah, please. Sorry, listening to it. Like, could we not share that and be like, wow, Bethany loves criminality?
But I feel like the way it was presented was like, she's our spokesperson.
Oh,
not
they
like
put it out like marketing material, not like a
yeah.
reshare or I see. Yeah, it's tricky. And she's sort of positioning it that she's doing this for the underdog who couldn't afford to do this with lawyers and such, that like they're taking advantage of creators of all size. But then I saw that she's kind of ruining things for creators and that there's a lot of uproar of content creators who are like, stop, like that sweater brand. I didn't know it was a sweater brand, but that brand is so much smaller than you. And it was a boost for them to like have you attached. Like it's not working out the way she thought it was, or it's negatively impacting some independent creators. So it just sounds complicated.
Cease and desist to some people, some creators on there. Yeah.
So she's making it sound like she's like kind of standing up for the underdog, but I think it's a little bit of a double-edged sword. And I think she's just got so many lawyers working on her stuff all the time that this is just like another day at the office for her. And it just doesn't seem like a battle she has to fight. Honestly, it's like, who cares if they sell some sweaters because you said you liked them? There's stuff selling out at the drugstore every day because she's saying it's the best thing.
You need to get on TikTok because by the time he gets to Instagram, it's done.
Know,
but what I wish she would do is I wish she would be like, here's a video. I'm trying this out. I'll check in with you 4 hours later, because almost every makeup goes on nice, but it's the like, how long is this going to last? Because that can be the difference between quality and
absolutely,
maybe a drugstore brand. And some drugstore brands are great.
Some are, but by like 4 p.m.
Say that, but
I don't look like I have makeup
that's what
on
I
sometimes.
care about.
Yeah, like it's just dissolved into my pores, I guess. Also, of course, she launched a podcast since the episode as well called Rewives.
Yeah.
Which I think is
a
really bad name.
Do better. Be better. Bethany.
Yeah, it just sounds like a real bore. And rewatching of like iconic episodes, and she's doing it with celebrities. And her first one was with
Elizabeth Moss.
I was like, what? Like, love that she's a Housewives fan, but what an odd combo of personalities.
Oh, for sure. And I love the drama with like Luann at one of her cabaret shows being like, and now Bethany, who wouldn't let them use the word housewives, is out here. You know? And it is weird because she's like tried to distance herself, but like ultimately she's always going to be connected. She was part of like iconic moments in television history, and she doesn't want to be attached to it. And that just seems like a shame that she won't. I don't know. It's irritating to me.
A shame that she won't. And also just weird that she also, if it's going to make her another buck, she will. Like,
absolutely.
Clearly this is what people want from her. And so, her last podcast, whatever that was, I guess it's
Just Be.
I tried listening to it. It was so rough. But anyway, so she's doing her Bethany thing, and I'll always have a soft spot for her, but she's a little like Kim Kardashian for me. Like sometimes I'm just like, what? And other times I'm like, oh, you seem like a really good person.
Yeah, I mean, she does amazing charity work.
She seems like a great mom. Like, great. I love her relationship with Brynn. People are complicated.
Yeah, that's true. Good point.
But just, sorry, the last thing is that speaking of Sonia, because Sonia was involved.
Have you ever had that moment when you're leaving the house and you wonder, did I lock the door? Or worse yet, you start spiraling and you imagine all the what ifs. I used to feel that way all the time, but it wasn't until a few years ago when I heard about a break-in just a few blocks away that I realized I needed to really step up my home security game. And now I can spiral about the what ifs on things that don't matter, like reality stars, instead of the what ifs of home security. We've had SimpliSafe protecting our house for the last few years now, and it's a total game changer. With SimpliSafe's Fast Protect monitoring, I know within 5 seconds if something's actually up, and the lifeguards can actually speak to intruders to stop them. That's faster than a reality TV star can throw a drink. One of the things I really love the most is you're not locked into some over-the-top 90-day fiancé level contract drama. SimpliSafe is actually affordable as well, less than $1 a day with no hidden fees, so it's easy to love. It's no wonder they've been named Best Home Security Systems by U.S. News & World Report for 5 years running. Whether you want to install it yourself, it really takes less than an hour, or have a professional handle it, SimpliSafe is as easy as flipping channels between Chimp Crazy and The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. So why wait for the drama to happen? Get SimpliSafe and know your home is covered just like I did. Protect your home with 50% off a new SimpliSafe system, plus a free indoor security camera when you sign up for Fast Protect monitoring. Just visit simplysafe.com/criminality. That's simplysafe.com/criminality. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Achieving a gorgeous grin from home isn't a total mystery with Bite Clear aligners. Just don't be surprised if all of your sleuthing friends start asking, "What's your secret?" Begin by ordering your at-home impression kit today for only $14.95. Bite Clear aligners are doctor-directed and delivered to your door. Treatment costs thousands less than braces. Plus, they offer flexible financing, accept eligible insurance, and you can pay with your HSA FSA. Get 80% off your impression kit when you use code WONDERY at Byte.com. That's BYTE.com. Start your confidence journey today with Byte.
With Tipsy Girl is on page 6 recently in November. Bethany apparently divulged, maybe in the new podcast, I'm not sure, that the time that Sonia Morgan almost got fired from Real Housewives, and Sonia's saying that's not true. It never happened like that. So who knows? But I don't know why I kind of trust Bethany on the record for that a little bit more.
I know.
But yeah, so that was the big drama between Sonia and Bethany of late. That's all.
Yeah, I feel like Bethany would have receipts and Sonia would be like, okay, who cares? It doesn't,
right. That's not how I remember it, but sure.
Look at my shoes.
But I wasn't fired. Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
and then
exactly.
Margaret. No news on Vineyard Vines. I think it's all been settled or is working out, but her ex-husband, Jan, passed away in September of a heart attack. Yeah, so it would have been his 75th birthday, and she posted about it, and so that was sad. But otherwise, no updates there.
Okay. So the next episode is Mama June, Honey Boo.
Oh, yeah. What the heck is going on there? Scared.
Okay. So yeah, that one had a lot going on.
Rough.
After that, my TikTok was just her and her new boyfriend. There's this game people play live on TikTok, and I can't figure it out. They're like, send me hats, guys. We need hats. I don't understand the game, but a lot of like Spencer Pratt does this. Several people.
This is why I don't. See them looking. This is why I can't be there. Like I just.
And if you make the mistake of clicking on it, then it thinks you want that more.
Course,
and
of
I
course.
don't.
You're like,
I'm
just trying to figure it out once. Yeah.
I know. Just one time, like I should be able to hit a button that says like, I don't ever want to be here again. But instead it's like, you loved it. Let's go.
There's no nuance when it comes to TikTok.
Yeah. So I have no idea what that whole thing is.
Weird.
Actually, somebody clue me in because I truly don't understand what that whole thing is. So she's playing that a lot. Okay. So when we talked last, Lauren, the older daughter, well, one of the older daughters, had custody of Alana, Honey Boo Boo, and June was paying $800 in child support a month based on $25,000 of income that she makes from the show and also endorsements.
What? Okay.
I don't know. I haven't seen that on my TikTok, thank goodness. But I did listen just today to Alana and Lauren on a podcast called Dumb Blonde Podcast. And I've never listened to that before, but they were discussing toddlers and tiaras, her addiction battle, all that kind of stuff. So I just pulled a few quotes, and one was Lauren saying, quote, "Growing up, we were broke. We had to ask DCF for Christmas. We were bouncing around from trailer park to trailer park," and saying it was really, really rough. And she said, basically, when Alana got toddlers and tiaras, everything changed for them, as you would imagine. But in the biggest news of this entire thing, it sounds like they're doing fine, but Alana's put out a diss track. And I'm sure you've heard of it. It's by Big Lana.
Yeah, it was on my Spotify Wrapped. It was most listened.
Was it number one?
Yes.
Was it number one? So I wanted to give you a few rhymes in case you haven't heard this ditty. Okay, one is, I'm going to save that one for last. Okay, here we go. The first one is, been getting to the bag since I was 6.
Oh.
Been getting to the bag. Put the family on. It's been lit. I'm sorry, I didn't read the whole line. Been getting to the bag since I was 6. Put the family on. It's been lit.
Makes perfect sense.
Is that
now.
better?
Thank
Did
you.
it make more sense? Okay, thank you.
Really close the loop.
Next one. You seen the drama with my mama. Serious. I'ma be me. Big Lana. Period. I don't know if there's a T on it, but I felt like putting a T on there.
There should be a few.
Big Lana. Period. Yes. And my favorite one. Well, this one, only the end of it is my favorite. My sister saved my life. Pumpkin, not sweet potato pie. I don't understand what we're doing there. Was this a Thanksgiving jam?
Didn't she call her Pumpkin?
Yeah, her nickname was Pumpkin, but why say
potato?
pumpkin, not sweet potato pie?
It's a pie preference. I don't know. It's deep.
Why?
It's layered. I don't know.
Is it?
No.
I feel like my homeless not toothless ornament was much more layered than this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So Rebekah, Big Lana is out there getting her badge since she was 6. So I'm sure you can find it on Spotify.
Cool.
I did find it on YouTube.
Oh.
Another line, I'll close it out for this update, is it's Honey Boo Boo Baby. Views on the YouTube, crazy. And I'm so cute. They pay me.
Okay, I like that one.
Big Lana. Yeah, so anyway, so she's giving that a shot. Make sure you check that out on your Spotify. I think it's too late for this year, but I bet if you start listening now, it could make it to next year's.
There you go. Keep her soaring up those charts.
That's what we need to do. Yep.
Wow. Okay, good. I mean, that's great. Speaking of music, of a slightly different caliber, our next episode was about TLC. Ain't Too Proud to Declare Bankruptcy. One of my favorite episodes, I think. I just loved learning about them.
loved it.
I just fell in love with them so much. Not a ton of updates, except that Chili and Tian T-Boz were, they did a live performance in New Zealand in November.
Oh, wow.
Well, down under Australia. Sorry, not New Zealand. And it was part of...
Oh, you're going to take off
edit.
a Kiwi.
No, redo it. Yeah, they did like a one night show they headlined, and it was called An Exclusive Evening with TLC. And it also featured Macklemore, Shaggy, and Ashanti, and like all these other artists. And it looked like an amazing lineup. Like I would definitely have checked that out if I had been lucky enough to be down under. And another Kardashian insert, because they're unavoidable, is that
they have to be stopped.
North dressed up as Chili for Halloween.
Oh, I saw that. That was adorable.
I really loved. And that's when I'm again like, that's a great choice. Like teach them young, like 90s icons.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the update there. And just not a ton of, legal or super big updates, but a great episode to go back to if you never heard it.
Next up is Scott Stapp. No good creed goes unpunished. This is a hard one for me. This is the episode that made me question everything there was to know about me, my personality, my likes, my dislikes. When you say that my pulse is on pop culture, then I do something like this and I lose all confidence in myself. No one ever cared to hear about him. That's what I learned.
That's not true, because this struck up an interesting conversation on our Instagram feed, and someone made the joke about like them choosing this one as the replay when we said, which one should we replay? And someone was like, anything but the Scott Stapp episode. And they were totally joking because they're in on it. But someone was like, wait, am I the only one that really liked that? And then other people were like, no, I did. And I said they were part of an elite circle of people who liked that episode.
Who were being paid by Scott Stapp.
No. Yeah. It really was not bad at all. He's just such an interesting figure. But I didn't help it by naming it almost the same title as the Yolanda Hadid title.
Oh, yeah.
It's literally almost the same title.
You know what? That's okay. It worked for both of them quite well.
I was lazy that day.
It's okay. So no real updates here. And even if there were, I wouldn't tell any of you people. None of you people would
You don't
care.
deserve to know.
You don't deserve the Scott Stapp updates in your life. I did run across this quote. He was on the YouTube show podcast with Theo Vaughn, who used to be on Road Rules. I see him all over my TikTok.
Okay.
Yeah. And so his show's called This Past Weekend. He has crazy stories, though. Like you'll just hear kind of a small little clip. He just will say, like, back when I was younger, there was this guy in my class named Rufus, and Rufus used to be the one that dealt us Molly. And you're just like, wait, what? How old Rufus was 4? Like, it's just the craziest. You're just like, where, what happened in your life? So anyway, the clips are always funny. But anyway, he goes on there and he has this quote, and I really like this. And this is kind of what I like about present day Scott Stapp. Okay, I've got to get myself out of this because now I'm saying I
to share. No, this is big.
Oh, don't, please. You're selling it way too big. This is what I did last time. So he says this. It's basically, Theo's like, what's it like to be like a meme that people, know you, but like kind of in this funny way.
Yeah.
And he says, quote, I'm glad. Man, how many people get to be that, to be a part of a generation of people and get to tie into a new generation. He says, now my daughter wants to wear Creed shirts to school and she's learning Mark Tremonti guitar riffs on her Les Paul. So what I loved when I came across him are these like TikToks he does where he reposts and people are making fun of the way he sings songs. And he's like in on the joke. I love when they're in on the joke. Doesn't take
himself too seriously. That is very appealing.
But I think he used to.
Right.
And, there could be a little bit where he's like, okay, I'm in on the joke, but it hurts my feelings. I don't know. But at least he knows how to play it.
Yeah,
now.
it shows growth. And that's important.
Rebekah, I want to get off of this so bad. I hope everyone just fast forwarded this because none of you deserved it.
No, we needed that. We needed that to close the loop once again, like put a pin in it. It is finished. We shall never speak his name again.
Never speak of him again.
It is finished. Okay. Well, let's move to the next winsome guy, shall we?
Oh, please.
My alma mater.
PKU. It's my favorite sweatshirt.
Yeah, we love our PKU t-shirt and sweatshirt. And anybody who gets any criminality merch like you have been, please post and tag us. We love seeing that.
Yes.
PK Kemsley, Boy George, I think he's got it, was the episode, and their debts and their tax evasion and his early career. Nothing major in terms of like developments around their money or their lack of money or their financial struggles or their house. But I'm sure you heard that at the end of BravoCon, Erica was on stage and the question was, who's the next couple to break up in Beverly Hills? And she said, it was such a weird delivery too. I don't know if you saw a video of it, but she was like, she like thought about it and she was like, Dorit and PK. And she kind of did this like weird spin and like walked back to her seat and sat down. Like it was very performative. And she says now that she was just joking, but I really think it was like meant to be a zinger. And so PK's response, because he just loves to get messy on Instagram, doesn't he?
I love it.
He said, Erica thought her husband was innocent. She thought the ankle is more important than the brain. She thought she should keep the earrings. Now she thinks Dorit and I are next to split up. Here's a quick bit of management advice. Stop thinking. Ooh. I know. And we like that from our president of PKU. Like, we want the business advice.
The founder. Yeah.
So there's that. And then there's him and Mauricio proving their bromance is alive and well. And
nobody cares. I mean, nobody wants that. Like,
and the whole like
the married to medicine guys
swapping.
Love it.
Yeah, it's really sad when like the men try and don't succeed. It's like Jersey and Married to Medicine. We make allowances, and like all of the rest of you just stop. Especially Salt Lake City. Please,
Salt Lake City. Thank you.
Please dissolve, disband, and never hang out again. It is an affront.
Wait, what did you say? Dissolve, disband, and what?
I don't know. Never hang out again or something.
Oh yeah, but I would wear that shirt. Dissolve, disband, never hang out again. There you go.
That's a way to sever a relationship. Oh, I cannot watch them.
No, it's so try hard, and like I don't understand how the producers aren't like, this is uncomfortable. Nobody enjoys this. This is so worse than Meredith and Seth in a tub. Stop going in the tub.
Stop going in the tub.
Tamara showed us years ago. It is not good.
It's not
It will make your children hate you.
It's like, I will give Meredith her alone scenes. I know she made that like her whole thing. Just do it. It's fine. Stop bringing your spouse.
I don't want to know what your feet are doing.
Stop. I can't. It's so gross. Cringe. That's
We're
it for
better
PK.
than that.
Yeah. Also, I just want to say, I really feel like Dorit's getting an unfair shake at the end of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I still like her. And I really...
Oh, yeah. Lots of people want her gone.
Yeah, they want her gone. And like, I really think people are still, even if they believe the robbery happened, they're like, okay, enough with your PTSD. And I'm like, she was like held at gunpoint in front of like, while her kids were home alone. I'm giving her a lot of room to be affected. I don't know.
No, I'm totally with you. It's one of those things, I would rather her have totally duped us and she had this mastermind thing behind her robbery than to believe that. Like, I'd rather believe that really happened and then later be proven it was wrong.
Absolutely.
Than to take that side of it. I
would also rather her be a crap person who made that up than actually have it really happen to her. Right?
Totally.
Like,
yeah.
If given the choice. But
yeah.
for now, I believe her. And so I'm like relax, people. I absolutely believe it happened. But they don't have any suspects, by the way. That's other update. Still no suspects.
Crazy. Yeah. But how many, I mean, we're seeing these like robberies all the time.
I mean, that feels like another episode, especially. Like the bling ring, like 2023. Like there's another new string of these robberies. Anyway.
Yeah, constantly.
That's it.
Okay, Rebekah. Yeah. Here's my good one.
Oh, good.
This one is John and Kate plus hate, but we did it like Skater Boy, so it's H.
Right, of course.
This was a doozy. This was one of my favorite recent ones on mostly John Gosselin.
Okay.
That was basically the whole thing. So that was his whole life. We learned about Colin and Alexis moving in with him, the relationship the kids did not have with Kate anymore. But now they're all 18. So this is where it gets interesting.
That's right.
So you're not on TikTok, so I don't know if have you seen any of the interviews with Colin recently?
No, but I heard he's speaking out.
He is. He went on ET and he basically was like, I don't have a relationship with my brothers and sisters, the other sextuplets. I hope I do at some point. I hope they're doing well. And then he said about his mom, it's unfortunate we don't have a relationship. I think every son wants to have a relationship with their mom, but I'm doing very well. So like ever since Kate put him into this, I think it was called Fairfield Institution, he hasn't had anything to do with her. When it came to visits, I watched a TikTok. Oh my gosh, this is my whole freaking personality now. I watched a TikTok where a guy who had been at the same residence or at the same institution as Colin, but was like a year older, was like, when you were in there, a lot of people had visits every day from family. And he said he only had, I think, 3 in 2 years or something.
Oh my gosh, that is heartbreaking.
So if you recall back then, John didn't even know where he was. Right. He had no idea. Right. She didn't tell him where he was.
Yeah. Oh.
And that's when he sends that letter to his dad and he gets out and all of that. And so they asked him, hey, what do you think of reality TV? Like, what do you think? Was that a good thing for you as a kid? Was it a bad? And he said it was absolutely terrible.
Oh, man.
It was a bad idea. So that's really it. To me, it kind of like said, okay, John, we love a story on a douchebag. Has douchebag tendencies, definitely went through a douche era.
Yeah. I
do think he kind of was like, okay, the Ed Hardy life isn't for me, and I'm going to try to live a more normal life. And began to take more responsibility for his kids. And, but there's so much damage that was already done. And like, I think there's a point to be made for parental alienation in this story. And I just hope that now that they're 18, at least the kids can have a relationship. But
I know I think it must be extra lonely to be ostracized from your siblings when you're part of a group. What are they? Sextuplets? Like, that's got to just feel like an actual physical loss. Like, that is so sad. That whole story was so sad.
It was. And there's lots of TikToks on it now because he did this. So it's like all these like old clips showing Colin and how Kate was kind of like always ostracizing him or like
weird.
There was this weird clip, or not this weird clip, but there was this clip where when they were little, the kids all made presents for her and he worked really hard on his. Seemed to take the most time, but he made like a mama bear and a baby bear.
Yeah.
And she was like, wait, where are the other ones? Where are your siblings?
Oh,
so it was like not good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This poor kid.
Ooh, it's rough.
Well, I might have a John Gosselin. I was just listening to Beyond the Blinds and he came up as someone hitting on, he wasn't the subject of the episode.
Okay.
But he came up as someone hitting on the person in the episode. And I have to fact check myself, but I want to say it was Kim Kardashian, like early Kim Kardashian.
Ooh.
Which is weird because it's like 6 Degrees of Kim Kardashian this episode.
Right.
Ugh. But I'm pretty sure it was like they were reading The Blind and they were like, this Ed Hardy like was at the prime of his reality game when he like tried to make advances with her or something. And I want to say it was Kim Kardashian, but I'll check and make sure. It might have been someone else, but totally weird.
Imagine a world where that had been a connection.
That's when I'd want to not see the video, but like just some proof of like a hangout, not like a video.
Yeah. That's when I don't know that I'd want to be on this planet anymore. I think that might be it for me.
It's time to
you
implode.
Watch the video.
Yeah.
I'm going to Mars.
Well,
yeah.
it just shows that everything is manufactured and produced. Like there is no
totally
natural way of meeting among people in that world. Anyway.
Oh, yeah, totally. So last update I have, Kate living in North Carolina, and she's on the cast. She's part of the cast for the new Fox show, Special Forces. Have you seen anything about this? Okay. So it's basically like military style, like they're going through the training that someone that was joining the armed forces would. I think it's recorded overseas. I'm not sure where right offhand. Debuts in January. Others that are on the show along with Kate are Kenya Moore.
Okay.
Atlanta. Anthony Scaramucci.
Place him for me.
He was Donald Trump's press secretary for like 14 hours or something.
Okay.
It was like wild.
Got it. Okay.
Mel B.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. Montel Jordan. And lastly, Jamie Lynn Spears. Well, there's more, but those were the ones I wanted to pull.
That is a like diverse lineup. Interesting.
Yeah. And not really anyone I want to see.
No.
Like Kenya Moore, I'd like to see her on Housewives. Besides that, I'm all right.
Yeah.
I don't need to see any of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't want to support her. I really don't want to support her.
Absolutely not. Weird.
That's all.
That sounds like a show I don't need to tune into.
No. So that's it for the Goslin update.
Okay. Well, at Jillian Michaels, there's no updates, but I got sucked in while looking for updates to her. It wasn't, well, I want to say it was a TikTok, but it was probably a TikTok on Instagram.
Let's be honest.
Let's be
honest.
Instagram
reel.
Yeah. Yep. And it was her answering the question she gets all the time. What do you eat in a day? Yep. And the video was so long. And I'm like, wow, that was a lot of minutes to describe very little food.
Almonds.
Yeah. And it was just annoying. And like, it's actually like she eats a lot, but it's all like dense and fibrous and like whatever, healthy. And she literally never eats bread or dessert. She doesn't drink and like just literally never cheats. And I appreciate
what happens
her.
if she eats a piece of bread? Like, would she just
She would probably
explode?
pass out like in a coma from like the carbohydrate and the breakdown of the sugar. Like she eats so clean and it's amazing. I'm just like, I just don't get it. And then she was like, and that's to say nothing of my supplements. That'll be another video. And I was like, oh God, like I want to die. Like just listening to what she ate was like laborious. The idea of listening to her talk about the supplements, all of which she's selling still.
That's what I was going to say. Her face is on every one of them.
Yeah. So she's still in the game of like selling this stuff that promises you to be slim and toned. And it's just garbage. And I don't like it. And I don't like her.
Yeah. Fair enough. Speaking of people that not that many people like or want to buy supplements from, Tanya Harding.
Yes.
We covered her on the Tanya Harding Knock Life. No updates there either. I think that is A-OK for a Tanya Harding update, that nothing has happened, good, bad, or otherwise.
And I can't imagine she feels differently. Like,
no, I think she's good.
Yeah, that's great. Well, you didn't skip it because there's nothing to say, but we did a rewatch, Real Girlfriends in Paris. I thought you were talking about them and you were about to say that nobody wants to like or likes. And I was like, I love them.
I had a complete change of heart thanks to Ben and Ronnie. The way they sell them and like the nuance of all the stuff they were talking about, I was like, okay, I'm on board. I love it.
So I did nothing to help their case. What I said just didn't
very
matter.
Very little.
It's fine. I'll take it. I wanted to give an update on them.
Like the beauty. Were you doing an update? Do an update on them. That's fine. I don't have anything to say.
No. Go on about what I helped you with. I
No,
want to hear that.
Just like, it's beautiful. And they're just on the cusp of, I know you used the word cusp.
I'm sure I did.
Of like such winsome behavior and stuff. So anyway.
Your impression of me is really funny because you had this very like weird, like
ethereal,
woohoo. It was very like Judy from Dead to Me.
Yes.
I guess if we were
honestly,
a pair,
yes.
You're Jen and I am Judy.
100%.
I did not ever think about that until right now.
I did today because I was thinking minus like some of her things are very like aggressive, and I'm not that way.
No,
but I'm
you're not.
sarcastic.
You are dry, and Jen is a little more cutting, and you're just more dry. But yeah, oh man, I like this for us.
You're super sweet seeing the, everything. And I love it. Yeah, it's perfect. But I want the bangs.
And Judy's hair is, it's killer. Mm-hmm. No, there's no real update for Real Girlfriends in Paris, but Aja liked a comment I made as a criminality comment on someone's, I don't even know what I'm saying now. I think, it was on Danny Pellegrino's Instagram. He had interviewed her and I said, oh, good, we love her. And she liked it. That's all. That's the update. Okay. And I found out she graduated from the same college where my daughter attends. So
that was exciting.
Lots of love for her.
I like that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's all. Okay, so we got Girlfriends in Paris, Tanya Harding. Oh, so that leads us to my last episode, Lady Gaga, A Star is Torn. And Melissa, this is crazy. So there were a lot of lawsuits and things with assistance, but the big crime in her story was that her dogs were kidnapped and her dog walker was shot.
Yeah.
And we talked a lot about that. And yesterday, I did like a quick Google search on all my stories just to make sure I didn't miss anything. And sure enough, yesterday in court, James Howard Jackson pleaded no contest to a charge of attempted murder for his part in shooting Ryan Fisher, the dog walker, and he was sentenced yesterday. So he pled and was sentenced to 21 years.
Whoa.
Like literally at the news was at like 5 p.m.
This is our TMZ moment.
It really,
we're not gross.
I was feeling like this was quite the crescendo to my last episode. And this is also the same guy. I don't know if you remember the part of the story that one of them was released from prison on a clerical error.
Yeah.
And what I found out was the period from when he was accidentally released to recaptured and brought back in was from April to August of the same year. So there were like 4 months he was completely like on the run. He pled no contest, and Lady Gaga's dog walker, Ryan, gave a statement. He gave a victim impact statement in court, and he spoke directly to his perpetrator and said, I do forgive you. With the attack, you completely altered my life. I know I can't completely move on from the night you shot me until I said those words to you. And I was like, this guy sounds like a freaking gem. And he also said that he's so glad that the dogs were not harmed and were returned safely to their mama, which is Lady Gaga. Aww. I know. So yeah, he's going to serve 21 years for attempted murder in Los Angeles. Yeah.
Oh, I had one Lady Gaga update, and
fun.
I sent it to you.
Oops.
The producer we worked, no, it's just like a one-off thing. The producer that we worked with for 2020, the episode Mandy and I were on, she wrote me and said, I said something about John Quinones. The episode was with him, and she said, oh, he's so great. He's one of the nicest celebrities I've worked with. Him, Lady Gaga, and one other person. Oh, that's
right. Yes. What
and
a
that
nice
was our
thing to know.
confirmation. Mm-hmm.
And you know what?
So I'll let it go. She's a nice person, I guess.
She is. And she seemed really nice on that old Laguna, the Hills episode. Like, she wasn't a huge star yet, but like she hugged them and said, I think you can tell a lot by like how someone acts in those scenarios. Like
totally.
Anyway, that's great to hear.
Yeah, for sure. So my last update comes to us courtesy of one Miss Kim Zolciak, Skeletons in the Bierman Closet. Yeah.
Yes.
Couple quick updates. The first one that happened literally the next day, or possibly the same day the episode came out, Brielle and Ariella. Is it Ariella? Ariana. Sister Wives. There's so many Ari names. I'm just confused. They are pitching, or the show's been pitched. I don't know what series, who's buying this? That's the question. Who's buying this? A new idea for a series where she and Ariana are set to move to LA to launch their hair care line. Your mom is famous for wigs. What are you doing?
So weird. And it came right after their whole, which your episode included, their whole house kerfuffle.
Oh, yeah.
And they're being cut off. Isn't that part of the premise, is that like they're being cut off from their like...
It's called cut off. Yep.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, this is silly.
Yeah, so everyone I've been dying to see what they're up to since they are no longer on the other show. And what are they going to do when they're cut off? I feel like it's just convenient that they're being cut off now in the midst of all of this other possibly losing their home, possibly somebody they know buying it and renting it to them. Who knows the truth there?
Yeah,
but I like this quote from like the pitch. For the first time in their lives, the sisters will have to pay their own bills, live on a budget, do their own laundry, and cook and clean, all while staying out of trouble. And literally the next line in the article I read was like, Ariana, who most recently had a DUI, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, I guess staying out of trouble is going to be key there. And so my only other update is Brielle, the older daughter. She went on Behind the Velvet Rope, the podcast, and she said there are 2 Bravo celebrities that are either in relationships or married who always DM her. Or if she posts something, they write something, it's like a winky face or hey, and she doesn't say who it is. She says only her mom knows who it is. I know. She doesn't want to be responsible for ruining a marriage.
But she wants to get the buzz and put out the rumor.
Exactly. And I'm like, also, first of all, it wouldn't be you responsible for ruining a marriage.
Right.
I'm thinking it would be the guy that was doing this.
Absolutely.
But so I wouldn't blame you because she's not entertaining it. She's not writing him back or doing anything like that. But I'm like, man, to be so young and to have people feel like they can write you and stuff like that.
Gross.
I don't know. I don't get it.
But of course, I want to know who it is.
100%. I'm like, Craig. I think Craig, just because like that's the first Bravo leb who feels like he could just get away with doing stuff and is in a relationship. Married, I don't know. I don't think it'd be anybody on Atlanta just because that's too close to home.
Right.
Oh, what if it's Kail? This is all alleged and me just guessing. Kail from Summer House, he's married.
I mean, that would backfire so fast on him. He's a douche, but he's smart. I think he's too smart.
Yeah, true. So anyway, we don't know. Those are just speculations.
Yeah,
literally,
alleged,
I have nothing. Alleged. And not even alleged, alleged in my brain this second.
Yeah, same.
My brain's not even firing on all cylinders. However many cylinders it has, there's like 4 that are out.
Wow.
So that's it for my update.
Same.
Nothing new. Yeah, let me know if you guys bought anything from the Bierman Closet. If you bought Croy's sweats, those I could be into.
I fully went on that because I really like the resale world. Like I like shopping consignment, and I just had to.
You'd love that.
And I enjoyed perusing, and I did not make a purchase. I did make a purchase from a Bravo leb recently, though.
Who?
I was just going to say, can I spoil this? It's my husband's Christmas present, like he listens.
Yeah.
I bought a pair of cufflinks from Reagan Charleston Designs of SAVANNAH, of Southern Charm SAVANNAH. I love her stuff. I hope this is not going to go the way of Maya's cookies, which apparently don't always arrive.
Yeah.
I got them for his birthday, which was last week. And I ordered them like a month prior and they haven't come. And I shouldn't say anymore, but hopefully they'll be here by Christmas. They're amazing. They're like shark tooth cufflinks.
Ooh, oh, that's cool.
Like black
that's
metal.
Really cool.
Yeah, they look really cool. So yeah, that was like my first. I mean, I don't know if people would consider her a Bravo lab, but I do.
I do, and I want I want Southern Charm New Orleans back. That was like the best. I loved it.
I would run on that campaign for office.
Imagine how much drama they have now that she left the husband and is with her old boyfriend and had a baby and just
not
like
good enough for her.
He looks like he should be on Southern Charm, the original. Like,
yes, he's got
John Pringle.
He's got Pringle energy.
Big Pringle energy.
Yes. Oh my gosh, T-shirt with big Pringle energy with a can of Pringles.
There you go.
Yeah, she could do better. I know he had a lot of money, I think, which I'm sure was appealing because she got pregnant.
It would appeal to
so
me. I could
just some security, so she could, take 3 months to send some jewelry that gets ordered.
Allegedly.
Not
allegedly.
Well, those were good. I like hearing all these updates, and I'm sure there will be more for future episodes. So periodically we'll do these.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Have you been watching TV?
Have I been watching TV? I don't want to say this, but I'm going to. Your friend, and I would like to claim her as a friend now, Rachel, who designed our website, did an amazing job. She's working on the Moms and Murder website, which, by the way, is being named Moms and Mysteries come January 1st. Please be excited, and please no one get confused, and please find us.
This is big and exciting and not confusing at all, and I love it. I'm so here for the scaling of the biz, all of it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So Rachel is new to Sister Wives, and she's lovely and wonderful. And so I don't know. Something about her interest in it is making me want to rewatch. And also, I just have never rewatched Sister Wives. So I'm doing a rewatch and seeing all the little things that were going on all along that you didn't really notice. It's really fascinating. I'm loving it. But I won't do that because that would be my third time suggesting Sister Wives.
Starting to feel a little left out. Like, it's like that.
I'm telling you.
I had a friend and now she's your friend and now you're sharing something that we don't share. And I'm like,
whoops.
Okay.
My bad.
This could be the thing that gets me to finally sit down and watch, though.
Oh, yeah. Jealousy, anything like that. I'll use whatever I have to. You got to watch Sister Wives.
Good tactic.
Speaking of which, I have to email her back. She did ask me something about Sister Wives a few hours ago. Okay, so here are my 3 clues. You're going to get this. Netflix.
Please just never start with
Joey.
saying that.
No, you will.
Joey?
Joey.
Oh, Joey. Okay.
Christina Applegate.
Oh, Dead to Me. Season 3. That's what I watched. I was trying to remember what I watched. Melissa, how good is season 3 of Dead to Me?
Here's the thing. I didn't watch it for like 2 weeks, which is an eternity when a show first comes out.
Yep.
And Rebekah, you watched it first and you were like, the final episodes, I just sobbed. And I was like,
you were like, oh boy.
Okay, Rebekah. Okay, Rebekah. I'm like, I don't.
You're like, okay, Judy.
I don't think I can feel things anymore. And so I watched it and like, I was so into it right away. I mean, I've already seen the first 2. I'd forgotten a lot. So that was kind of, I probably should have rewatched the whole thing first. But it was so good, so sweet. I mean, just all the feelings. It makes fun of itself in like such a fun, like it doesn't take itself too seriously, which I love because there's like a twin storyline. Like
it's like a soap opera trope.
It is. And it's so perfect. Cause at first I was like, roll my eyes over this. And then it totally makes fun of itself in just this perfect way. So campy and just the dialogue we were talking about is amazing.
Writing is so
and
good.
It seems like it's off the cuff. You know, it's written and maybe there are some stuff that they just say to each other, but it's such a natural friendship and back and forth. I stayed up until 1 a.m. watching it, fully sobbing in the finale. I cannot tell you a show I've cried in a very, I honestly don't even know, but they did it so well. And I was fully just an emotional mess over it. It was great. It was cathartic.
It was cathartic. I don't know if it makes you feel uncomfy, but I am like getting all the warm feels about the idea of you like melting over the show because honestly, if that doesn't cut through to you, like, we need a little chat. Cause then I really would be like, is this thing on? Meaning like your heart.
Well, it's still questionable at best.
It was it's like a top 5 show for me. I think it's like a perfect TV show.
It really is so great. And knowing that Christina Applegate, well, you told me that she was diagnosed with MS during the filming of it. I didn't realize it was during that. And seeing Linda Cardellini at Christina Applegate receiving her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and seeing their friendship. And then, I don't know, it just felt so real and so amazing. And it is so ridiculous. Like the whole ending, premise. How they get where they get is like way out in left field and not believable at all. And the show Barry does that as well. But totally works. And I'm totally into it. Perfect way to end that show. I absolutely am obsessed with it. Loved it.
Yeah, no spoilers because it is still relatively new, and I really do hope people watch this and let us know. I'm like wanting to give the spoilers, and I'm wanting to make the comparison to what I compared it to you via text, but I'm going to wait a few weeks. It's just so good.
Oh yeah, totally. We'll have to.
It reminds me of it's a nostalgic old movie.
Totally, yeah. It's in one we had talked about recently too. But
that was like a weird.
Perfect.
Yeah. Oh, good.
10 out of 10,
I'm so
no
glad.
Notes. Perfect.
Yes. Oh, yay. That makes me so happy. Well, that is something I watched, and I've watched a lot. I'm like kind of keeping up very much on the current Housewives circuit. But I went to the movies recently, which is like a big deal because I went to the theater, which is like, I think I've done that twice in 3 years. So I'm going to go with a movie if it's okay and give you clues.
Please.
Okay. I think you'll get it because I don't know how to do this. New York City, Weinstein, New York Times.
Oh, it's the movie about Harvey Weinstein but I don't know. I have no idea what it's called.
Okay, so it's called She Said.
Okay.
And it stars Zoe Kazan and Carey Mulligan as the two reporters who broke the Harvey Weinstein story. And fun fact is that my husband's old client, his wife is one of those two women who broke the story, wrote a book about it, and then they optioned the movie based on her story. So he is one of the characters, this guy that we know pretty well. He's very secondary because it's about his wife's work, but he's like home with the baby and sometimes on the laptop when she was working late. So that was very thrilling.
Wow.
And that's why I wanted to see it in the theater. It was too long, very interesting, but needed to be shorter and like punched up. It was clear to me that like two writers wrote this and they didn't cut enough or something. I don't know. If you're interested in the story, it's really good. And honestly, what I learned and took away from it mostly was like, I mean, other than he is the worst, but we already knew that.
Yeah.
It's like, what goes into making an article? Like that story broke in whatever year it was, 2018 or 19. But it was like this years long investigation and the fact checking and the source corroboration and what they have to do to put out one story in a newspaper that big is wild. And I found that really fun to get a little peek into. And that's just one story in a giant newspaper. And there's so many scenes in the newsroom, and there's all these other clusters of people that don't have a role in the movie. They're just in there. And I'm like, they're all working on a story like the way these people are working on this one. And that just blew my mind. But I learned a lot about the case that I didn't know. There's a lot of celebrity appearances in it. Like Ashley Judd plays herself in it. Gwyneth Paltrow's voice is in it. So it's really interesting. And what I won't give that away. That's actually a fun thing to discover. So I would recommend it if you are interested in journalism. And I would also just say you could wait and stream this at home when it's available. Like I wouldn't go running to the theater. Just to be perfectly candid. But it was good. Just a little too long. It was like 2 hours, 10 minutes.
I saw something about that. And then also it was kind of like, it's really soon for them to have adapted this into a like actor, actress sort of thing where it's still kind of going on. And like, we know the real people. And
I kind of disagree with that because he's in prison. I mean, there have been true crime docs that come out before the paint is dry on like a, court document.
I think making it like a movie is because we're used to that being like decades later.
Right. Oh yeah. They did it quick. Oh, I see what you're saying. So it might not
as
have
opposed
been
to like Lifetime who will churn this stuff out. Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe that was the issue, was that it was like too quick. But it needed like another pass, I feel like, honestly. But the acting was incredible. It wasn't that it wasn't good. So it was just...
I want to see it when it comes out.
Yeah, like, watch it at home. Yeah, totally. I do recommend it. Really good. Another like fierce female duo doing cool stuff. And like, I would say it's actually a nice theme, a nice pairing with Dead to Me.
There you go. We'll take it.
Yeah. So that is what I'm watching. And then I guess I'm going to do the next episode if you want.
Yeah, Rebekah. What are your clues?
This weird set of 3 clues. Are you ready?
Okay. Yep.
Atlanta.
Okay.
Nashville. Savannah.
Okay. Dang it.
You know.
I have no idea.
Oh.
Do I know?
I don't know. I thought you were saying dang it like too easy.
No, I'm always dang it. I don't know. Okay. That's my dang it.
You'll get it.
Atlanta, Savannah, Nashville. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm here for it. I would love a geography class while we're doing that. That'd be great.
Great.
If you could show up with a map, that would help.
Oh, that was my favorite subject in 3rd grade. I knew all the state capitals. Still do. I was the best at it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. I'm still confused. Utah.
Salt Lake City.
Iowa.
Des Moines.
Nebraska.
Lincoln.
Florida.
Tallahassee.
Okay, thank you.
That would be so sad if I missed that one.
That's all right. I do not know that. I don't understand any of the states on the western side. I feel like they've been moved and there's some sort of a Mandela effect. I had no idea that like Texas, like Utah.
What?
I didn't know where Utah was.
Oh.
Utah's like near Oregon or something.
It is.
It doesn't make
sense. It's not.
It wasn't always.
Well, I'm glad you're saying this and not me because I'm afraid I'll sound like a whatever.
I sound like a hillbilly from Florida.
No, you don't. But I'm always like, there's all these states in the middle and I can never place them because they all have a very similar shape and they're all together.
Squares.
Yeah, it's hard to know. But Utah is like very northern and western, but it's not on the coast. I mean, you made it sound like
it was like
the middle?
Deep down. I thought like there's a chance you could cross the border in Utah. That's like where I thought it was.
Well, that kind of makes sense because it's very close to Arizona, because the women on Salt Lake City just recently went to like Scottsdale or something. And they were like,
Jen Shaw can't go far.
Exactly. But it's very close to Arizona, which is, does that border Mexico?
I think it's best if we
should
don't
stop
ask any
talking.
more questions.
Well, if anyone is still listening, we'll be back in 2 weeks with that new episode. You can catch Melissa on Tuesdays with the artist, the podcast formerly known as Moms and Murder. It's still Moms and Murder.
It's still Moms and Murder till January 1st, and then it's Moms and Mysteries.
I love that.
A true crime podcast.
I really like that. I'm
glad. Thank you.
It opens up a whole new world. It's exciting.
It does. And you can catch Rebekah on Wednesdays with her show, Dialogue, where you just interviewed, or is the episode out with the host of Bone Valley?
It will be out.
Which is my podcast for the year.
Podcast of the year, Bone Valley, Gilbert King. It comes out. It'll be out by the time this is out. Beautiful interview. Actually, speaking of Florida, he's from there. He's like a longtime New Yorker now, but he lived in Florida a lot. Oh, you heard Bone Valley, so you know that. Mm-hmm. But he just said a little spoiler, a little nugget from the interview is that he wants to keep working on Florida cases. And he's like, there's just so much to work with. I said, so indeed, there is a very broken system and a state full of criminals.
Okay.
Sorry, but it's true. There's a lot of stories. It's the second journalist I've had on this month and this series saying like, I'm going to focus on Florida for a while. They're just like settling in. Out. It's so funny. But yeah, he's a great guy. He's as great as you want him to be and as great as that podcast was. So.
Oh, good. That makes me happy. Can't wait to hear it.
Yay. Okay. Well, thanks everyone for listening. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Criminality Show. Melissa, take the TikTok.
I'm trying. Criminality Show podcast on TikTok. We're going to make a schedule. We're going to stick to it as best as we can.
Yeah. And we've been quiet on social the last 2 weeks, what with travel and the move, but we are going to be back posting again more regularly. So stay tuned.
Yes, stay tuned. Rebekah, can't wait. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Criminality. If you're enjoying the show, please head over to Apple Podcast or wherever you listen and give the show a rating and review. The reality is it would be a crime to keep your thoughts to yourself.
And come join the fun outside of the podcast and follow us on social media. We are at Criminality Show on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Memes are welcome. We'll see you in 2 weeks with a new episode. Until then, you can catch my co-host Melissa on her weekly show, Moms and Murder.
And Rebekah Sebastian on her podcast, Dialogue, a true crime conversation. Don't forget, loving reality
isn't a crime.